Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Batman Arkham Asylum. It did occur to me in between the last recording and this one, which was for me about 5 seconds, this Batclaw grapple, maybe it gets an upgrade at some point and it pulls people and does like more damage when it pulls people. Or it pulls stronger enemies that we get introduced to. If that's the case, then the idea of needing a batarang that would explode on contact makes a little bit less of a necessity. That might it really just means there's two different ways this could go. Meanwhile, all we're doing is fighting these guys who are giving us experience, and we really don't have to do anything else because there's no collectibles. It is worth mentioning that this is the third iteration of this one hallway. This hallway must have been worked on very early in the game because it went from there being a ambulance here on its side or blown up to the ambulance. Well, the ambulance was blocking the way and two medics were hiding behind it, afraid for their lives, and then those two medics were murdered and their bodies are now gone, and the ambulance was on its side, and I guess maybe that ambulance got moved to another part of the island because another ambulance did show up on another part of the island. I don't know what that really changes or affects, but sure, I guess that could be the case. Now, the fact that we have the range extender on this without the thing to make it easier to hack is fine, but it would be nice if it made it easier to hack when you were closer with just the range extender upgrades.
That one was hidden so well it was almost invisible.
Alright, I don't think we have the secrets for Arkham East, so we just need to see if there's any riddles in this area. No, just looking for chattering teeth, of which apparently there's 8, and a mystery item, and some other things.
I've been a fool. Joker was behind it all. He's Jack White. He gave me the money, pulled the strings to release Bane. How could I not have seen it? He's been blackmailing me. He has a crazy plan to create an army of monsters. I want out, but... Hello? Hello? Dr. Young's office.
Please hold for Mr. White.
What?
Hello, Doc. We need to talk.
I'm not doing it, Joker. Do you hear me? Wait. How did you get access to a phone?
Oh, yes. Sorry, Doc. Had to split. I hate small, confined spaces. Reminds me of my childhood.
Another lie?
Who knows? I certainly don't, but let's not get distracted with details. So, anyway, I want my monsters.
I sent you back the money. I don't want it.
Do I look like I care about money? I just want my monsters, Doc. And if you don't give them to me, well then, it won't be funny.
So these tapes that kind of tell the backstory that we've already obviously surmised are gated in such a way that you would not be able to have seen them early. Not that it's a huge surprise. Dr. Young, not really depicted in such a way that you would assume her to be a paragon of virtue. You would, by default, at most just assume her to be a doctor and nothing else, a insignificant character. Right, so we've got one guy up there, and then some other guys. And we'll just glide kick. There's a reason to take these guys out, because they give experience. Otherwise I would just kind of ignore them. There is a problem with depicting Batman like this, though. Like, he's knock him down with a batarang. I guess that's easier than the other thing. I suppose maybe if 2 or 3 of these jumped on me at the same time, they might give me some trouble. But as long as you can take them on one by one, you're fine. I'm supposed to be scanning for Harley's fingerprints, by the way, and I see none of that. And there's not really a reason why you'd want to go into the Arkham Mansion right now. I feel like they've kind of cheapened it out here, because it seems like for each of the 3 parts of the island, they couldn't even make a south section. They've got a guard room, and inside each guard room it seems to hold some very basic secrets and a secret map.
My map will help you, Batman.
So, yeah, instead of having to wander all around the place to find the last couple secrets, you just had to wait until you got to that point. Sucks, I cannot climb up on this side, I have to run over here. This guy is just swinging at flies. Alright. Alright. There's a scannable thing hidden.
Spring was a
We're not getting
turning
anywhere
point,
with this story
a
either.
new beginning, a glorious realization of my true destiny. My family's killer perished in an unfortunate accident. These animals cannot be cured. Like dogs, they only respond to discipline. And if that fails, then I was afraid that these accidents would have to continue.
So, the creator of Arkham, all about not rehabilitating, but just potentially abusing and murdering patients. Which is a decent backstory, you know, that does explain why there would be so many supervillains and so many crazy people in this universe. The Batman universe is darker than it probably needs to be, and you could see how a world would get that way if there's less hope and less attempt at being kind. And that was just sitting there. I just didn't walk far enough. From the looks of it, I guess this also explains all these gravestones on this island. From the looks of it, I think I took everybody out. This one guy over here. Then we've got the blabbermouths. Let's figure out where they are. They don't scan so well. And that's still not enough, because I was like 2, and they want me to have done 10.
It's the Enigma.
So is there another Spirit of Arkham stone hidden in the corner over here? Probably. Yep. Structurally weakened wall. Can be destroyed with a controlled explosion. Take note how the 3D effect looks very much like a Batman 66 animation. Nice little throwback.
I took a walk around my island. I passed by the penitentiary and felt nauseous at the thought of the filth it contained. I looked out over the Gotham Bay, and in the distance I saw lights. No doubt boats bringing more filthy degenerates to my city. I swore again to protect her from this darkness.
And how's he gonna do that? So we still got Poison Ivy, we still got Killer Croc, we are gonna fight the Joker last, pretty obviously. Over here on collectibles, we may have just screwed up a point where we won't see all of these teeth, or maybe there would just be 2 groups of 3 that appear after we leave the Botanical Gardens. Botanical Gardens is pretty much the last building we haven't been to, but we're still missing a Metroidvania ability of something, whether it's a remote controlled explosion of the Batarang, or whether it's a more powered up grapple ability.
I should pick up Harley Quinn's trail. I can't waste any time in finding the Titan production plant.
Alright. So now we would be looking at a different count of 20 Joker teeth. So that does not count towards the Joker teeth in the overworld. Yeah. And so it seems pretty obvious what they did is they just did not want us to have to scan Harley Quinn's fingerprints all the way through the area that it potentially we had to walk through.
I argued with the latest group of young, eager doctors. They bored me.
I don't know if we're gonna get all this
with
story.
ideas, proving that they had no theories on how to cure these animals. Only one shared my vision. I offered her the chance to explore her dreams. She accepted. We'll make a good team.
I wonder, it would be funny if this turned out this was hinted at as the parents of the Joker. That'd be kind of funny. I don't know if that really works though, because they are very pot committed as far as a poker analogy to not telling the backstory of Joker. And if anybody even tried to, it would probably be rejected wholeheartedly. Oh, so I just went in a full circle there. See what this looks like. It's a botanical garden full of green plants, although dark green plants. And I'm trying to look at the map. I see an area, I see a door. I wouldn't be surprised if there's barely anything in any of this. Here we've got dead people. Is the number up for these guards? So just Zaz took out some more people. And yeah, questionable whether we are even gonna fight Zaz. Here they're using the Griffin statue as a fountain piece, which we've seen that used in a couple other places. Not overused though. Here we've got a cricket sound effect that probably was only used in this one area, which would have been kind of a waste.
Patient interview. Pamela Lillian Isley.
So now we're gonna get the backstory of her as far as this game is
Good morning,
concerned.
Pamela. How are you today?
Fine. Today is a special day.
What do you mean?
This is the anniversary of my new life. When I found my true self, my destiny.
Are you referring to the event with Dr. Woodrow?
Yes. What else? Of course, at the time I thought Jason had poisoned me. But in retrospect, he did me a huge favor.
And why do you believe what he did has helped you?
He showed me the bigger world. A world I should protect. Of course, my first offer was rejected.
Offer? You tried to kill everyone in Gotham.
Well, sometimes you need to prune back hard in order to make something flourish.
So I don't even know what the backstory or who Jason is as a character of Poison Ivy. I do know that when they started to integrate some of the other comic book companies that got acquired by DC, they brought in Swamp Thing as an avatar of the green, and they opened up the idea that Poison Ivy also could have been an avatar of the green, or might be an avatar of the green. So Swamp Thing would on some rare occasions interact with her. Although in all fairness, a lot of the times the way those stories work and those crossovers work is the lesser important series, which to DC would have been Swamp Thing, allows other people. So Poison Ivy might show up in Swamp Thing, whereas Swamp Thing would not show up in a Poison Ivy comic. Two guys with guns are not going to be enough to hurt me, even if I didn't have an upgrade in my health. Yeah, it can be particularly ridiculous and unfair as far as the who gets top billing and who gets treated well and who doesn't. I kind of assume there's nothing else in this area, in this room. And it's kind of arbitrary to have to hack this. It would have been nicer in scenarios like this if they just got knocked out and the doors opened automatically, or they had the suicide collars on, and when those all went off, the doors opened automatically, instead of playing this lockpicking minigame, which is not even really lockpicking and isn't particularly good for even a lockpicking minigame. Right. What time is tea in Wonderland? Right, we've got a lot of people here. A lot of people. So I think what we do is we start up here, and when you're flying up, I don't think they can even see you. So let's go ahead and get out of here. There are two doors in this area. Man, I have still never really figured out how to the general idea of being able to. I probably should be playing this way. Yeah, you really can't even play the game the way you want. You need to be in the stealth mode to see them through all the other elements.
Don't be scared, boy. He's just like you and me, just crazier. I mean, if anyone deserves to be locked up, it's him.
Joker wants you stopped. I'm gonna do it.
Come on. You didn't walk close enough.
I'll find you. Do you hear me?
He's gonna take his sweet time to come this direction, and he may decide to jump down there. Alright.
He's taken out 2 of you. Find him.
Alright, so how would these guys climb back up if I was to throw something there?
I'm sure it came from over there. Come on, where are you? Hell with this! Hey, get off me!
So we hang down here. And
Behind! Cut me down! Please. What are we gonna do? Shut up!
these guys are just not strong enough with their guns. So this guy wants to shoot me. That's fine. I can take him down and just jump towards him and hit him completely.
Really? He beat you all again. What does it take? An army of monsters?
We're about to level up again, which would help the combo function, but we don't have to really worry about that. There's supposed to be a secret lab in this area. We started here in this area. What time is tea in Wonderland? We've got something over here to blow up. I hear a frog sound effect. What am I looking at? Just a weird symbols on the walls and weird plants on the walls. And apparently that doesn't mean anything to anybody. So I don't want to have to find everything. I guess this door is maybe locked, maybe not. There is a Riddler trophy under there. Doesn't seem like there's too much here. Alright, this clearly is the setting for the Mad Hatter. Really? Out of view. The Mad Hatter, another character I recognize from the cartoon. Let's wait till we upgrade. So, What do we want now? Obviously, we want the combo boost at 5 instead of 8. And then I probably won't ever use the combo battering, but that would probably be the next thing to get. Because, yeah, triple battering might be an interesting thing. I kind of feel like you get triple battering at the end of the game when you fight. Well, no spoiler there, but it's the Joker. I kind of feel like you get that regardless because it's required to beat the game. Maybe you have to buy it if from a New Game Plus perspective, if there is a New Game Plus. I wouldn't be surprised if there actually isn't a New Game Plus and it's actually more of a case of simply forcing the entirety of forcing you to reload a previous save. Alright. Is there a way to get up to this very top? No. So it seems like you take your pick. You either go to the right or you go to the left or you go straight forward. No. Maintenance staff only. Let's go this direction. Remember the Waynes? How could anyone forget? Memory of Thomas and Martha Wayne. Easy riddle. And very possibly the only thing in here. Thomas and Martha Wayne. They don't get actually depicted as much as they get talked about in comics, so I don't know if that character art is accurate or not. Seems like fine. They are such non-entities actually in the Batman universe. They are simply MacGuffins. Or motivating factors for Batman to be crazy. Here's the Mad Hatter. 1948. You can probably guess that there's problems with the Batman universe and his gallery of rogues in the fact that a large percentage of them are from decades and decades earlier. So it becomes harder and less likely that you're going to bring back somebody like the Mad Hatter as the character as he was depicted before. You might try and reinvent the concept and idea. We've got another interview tape.
Patient interview, Pamela Lillian Isley, November 14th, 10:21 a.m. Hello, Pamela. Today I'd like to go back to something you said in our last conversation.
Ask me anything you like.
You said your first offer to help Gotham was rejected. How can you possibly believe that?
What do you mean?
You released thousands of poisonous spores into Gotham, killed hundreds of people. How does that help anybody?
I'm not interested in bodies, Doctor. Horrible fleshy sacks walking around destroying my poor babies with their greed and arrogance.
But aren't you one of those fleshy sacks? Were a doctor too. How can you turn your back on us?
Quite easily as it happens. But not you, Stephen. You're different. I feel we have a connection.
Really? You do?
Of course.
Alright, so if we're getting backstory going this way, and the main story wants us to go that way, then I suspect I went the wrong way and I potentially am going to miss out on a cutscene. And while there was a decent amount of them and they seem to like to play back to back when they do exist, I really wouldn't want to miss out on a cutscene.
You need to stop this now, before it goes too far.
Stop? But everyone's
Another
dying
faithless
to see what I
guard.
do next.
Let him go now.
Really? Okay, if you say so, Bat. Whoopsie! No! You really need to speed things up, Bats. At this rate, you'll never catch me!
It's so late in the game to have to introduce
I need to shut down
him
power
as
to
the
this
bad
room.
guy, as the real bad guy, the main bad guy, and have him walking around and not just sitting in the chair. And kind of clearly and obviously that cutscene was designed to be one cutscene they could cut out in case they didn't want to show a direct murder in action, even by the Joker. Really didn't tell us anything, just established that the side direction is the direction we need to go, and then the side direction with these 3 power lines when we've only seen 1 power line in the previous way.
Stop, please! I'm not important. I can't help you. You're lucky the boss don't want you hurt too bad. Said something about you being a perfect bait. Don't get it. You're nothing special. Who's gonna save you? Yeah, and just in case... He's here! You want some of this?
So you have to remember that the red ones are the ones with they have to be dizzied with the B button, but then nobody else actually has to be dizzied. And I got a 5 combo and then broke it, and we can try and hit BY takedowns all we want, but we didn't actually accomplish that.
Can you cut me free, Batman?
And here's another custom face. Seems like they're actually trying again. All kinds of junction boxes and generators and things. Carl Todd, an actual character name.
Thanks. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I eat punks like these for breakfast. What were they doing in
I
here?
don't know if we're gonna
The
get
ones that
another
weren't hitting me went
Scarecrow
over there and started doing something
section.
to the power controls. I have no idea what they were doing.
It's kind of a weird angle for the camera.
Pamela, I got you what you asked for. Do you like it?
Oh yes, Stephen, I love
See,
it.
she's
Such a
using her
beautiful
pheromones
flower.
on him.
Do you mind if I keep it?
Oh, no, Pamela, I can't leave it. It's against all the rules. I'll just bring it and show it to you when I visit.
But it's me, Stephen. I get so lonely on my own. You wouldn't want me to be lonely, would you?
No, of course not. Keep it. Just don't let anyone see. Really, no one.
You can trust me, Stephen. Thank you. Now give me a kiss.
I can't. People will see.
No one's watching. What's wrong with you? Don't you love me? Call me Ivy.
Of course I love you.
I
Looks
suppose
like Joker has booby-trapped this control box. This is going to be tougher than before, but it's a risk I'll need to take.
it's also worth mentioning, I suppose, that they kind of had to bend over backwards to give Poison Ivy a male doctor when it's been a female doctor talking to most of the other patients. In detective mode, there's seemingly something we need to hack down there, but I'm not sure if I should hack that last. We've got the remote hack. I guess you wouldn't have been able to hack these at all without the remote hack. Come to think of it. And this says, what, CCP? And this says, what cop? Here's a secrets map. What cop, what cop, what cop? I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Right, so in this area, it doesn't seem like there's any collectible at all. Seems like all the collectibles are in further locations down this way. The guy's there, and then we see all these kind of boxes. But the way it seems like to me,
I thought the gardens would be the last place those escaped goons would be interested in. So much for logic in this place.
there's kind of nothing here. So we're gonna try to hack this and just hope it doesn't, like, maybe we've got a timer on it. And we've got to do it 3 times. Instead of once.
Looks like I've cut the power to the generator ahead.
Okay.
I'll stay here. The Joker's men may try to retake the generator.
So why 3 different wires? If that was just going to be one generator, why not just one generator wire?
Well, aren't you the persistent one? That's
Go ahead and run through here. There's kind of nothing to do.
Before I have an army of Titan monsters at my fingertips. Ooh, just imagine me being carried through the streets,
Getting a walk and talk right now.
all those innocent citizens. It's going to be glorious, so I can't wait.
This is an area that could have been really, really pretty if they had put a different color palette on it and make it brighter and not dark and grimy. Like, not all Batman needs to be dark and grimy. But also that would have been an area that would have been great to throw some new enemies at me and have me fight a second time. The fact that we're just kind of walking through these rooms and they're completely empty does open it up to a scenario where if we were going to waste our time and try and get all the collectibles, which I don't think we are going to at this point, it would definitely be boring. But there's kind of nothing happening that's going to be happening in these rooms. King's horses trampled all the king's
all
more.
the king's horses trampled all the king's men.
And this is in the flood corridor. This is a tribute to the Mad Dog left
To
behind.
what a mad dog left behind?
The rat catcher
The
needed.
rat catcher needed more than just his charm to lead his army.
So we've got like 3 riddles to solve. And it's probably not just these statues. It's not this dead guy. They did have to mark him as dead. There's another dead guy. Well, what the funny part here is, I guess since we already have the secrets map, we oddly kind of already have the solution. Or we're going to hit a point where solutions, knowing where a secret is, doesn't even matter. Nothing that way, so we have to go this way. There is something here, some gloves and a gas mask. I don't know what that reference is. The rat catcher needed more. Rat catcher apparently is a character I don't recognize. 1988. How are we doing on characters, by the way? We have maybe 5 more. Yeah. Only 5 more to find, so can't be too much more. I still can't figure out how to actually exit out the menu by just hitting the back button. Man. It really isn't evidence of interesting little egg things out of nowhere. Yeah. Ever since they introduced the back button to go directly to the menu, I've never really learned to hit the back button to leave the menu. But in all fairness, most games are programmed better, so you hit the back button to you press the back button to go to a menu, and then you press B and it exits out of the menu if that's how you entered the map. If you entered the map through the start menu, then it zooms out, or you just have a different button zoom out. Yeah, speaking of zooming out, it feels like we are approaching the caves system. Be weird if Crocodile attacked us right now. That would be pretty unexpected. But I'm certainly not holding my breath that that quick time event where you would grab him with your back claw and see, now in the abandoned chamber, which is a different area. The challenge can only be seen for those with a different view on life, so that's just a perspective look. It's another one of these aqueduct type sections. And those sound effects do sound like we might be dealing with the crocodile. No, it's just the Joker. Okay. Yeah, a quick time event chase / drag sequence seems unlikely to actually happen. There's just too much. Let's see. There's too much here that is unpolished to make me think that that sequence actually would have been funded. He's like mixing up the poison. I don't know if I should drop down to start. Yeah. So we're looking for collectibles and perspective puzzles, which there's looks like there's gonna be a lot of them hidden in this one area. This is one of those areas again that's disconnected, has really nothing to do with the overall story or game. It's just something that they did and they had finished, so of course it's got to be thrown in. Right, so I've got to figure out how to crawl in that area. And definitely there are some parts of this we're not going to get. Like some of these collectibles are not doable. What did we... How could we get into that section? Oh, it's here. Just kind of missed it. Up in the center part. Pick up that. Out of that area. I have not been able to see anything that looks like the Riddler's question mark. I kind of would expect to see a part of it. So it must be a high up area. And yeah, we're back into a scenario where we're having the Joker ramble and say the same lines of dialogue over and over again. There's allegedly 4 things, and I imagine 2 of them aren't the perspective puzzle. There's the dot. So then if the dot is over here, then the question mark may be over there. I don't know. I guess a super grappling hook would allow me to climb higher points. Yeah. So that might be the trick, is that I get some kind of super grappling hook after the maybe a first battle with Joker, and then we come back and we can collect all of these things. Meanwhile, where are we? We're getting stuff.
Looks like all
We
the king's horses
still would
trampled
need
all the
to
king's men.
take out a lot more Joker teeth in this area. It's going to be increasingly difficult to get the last 10% of collectibles, particularly if you just have a solution like this where you need to find 6 teeth that you somehow missed, and are probably in areas you just can't reach. But if we got everything, what does that really get us anyways? just pride at this point. There's still clearly a whole section in the caves we're going to have to deal with. It would be interesting if we were actually defeated by the Joker, and that's why we had to go back to the caves and get stronger or get more equipment. But I don't know if DC would let them tell a tale where Batman was defeated even temporarily. As we are still getting experience, that's kind of nice. Making it easier to hack is not necessary. Multiple frequency detonators is not something you would ever really use, at least not on easy. Sonic battering and its upgrades, not something you'd really want to use. So yeah, as we're continuing to play, increase this combo so that we could use the batarang to knock thugs down, but probably won't ever use it, and then increase its power, and then increase it, maybe not increase its power, maybe do the triple batarang first. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 7 upgrades, 7 more level ups, which would be an indication that there can't be that much more gameplay, but you get experience by finding collectibles as much as you do by defeating enemies. Storyline wise, as far as this backstory, we're only halfway done here, and yeah, if we don't get all of that, it's just going to be a huge waste of time. And let's face it, to get everything, we're going to have to go through every single part of the island a second time. Once we're fairly certain we have all the Metroidvania items. This is not how I feel like you normally play a game that's a Metroidvania. When I think about Metroid Prime, it feels like you probably get everything anyways. There was this kind of brilliant game design in Metroid Prime 2, because you needed these keys to unlock the area to fight the final boss, and each key was in each region. I don't think this game is going to do that. Whereas if I think back to like the original Metroid game, you probably didn't need to collect all the upgrades, but collecting all the upgrades in the original Metroid would have just been ensuring you had 255 missiles compared to 200 missiles. Whereas the reward for getting everything in this instance is getting the majority of the backstory and the writing. So they've totally hidden that behind challenges that are too difficult for an average player. Let's face it, a lot of players don't get to the end of a game. A lot of players barely even play a game for 2 hours. If somebody was to speedrun this game and not really collect anything, or go out of their way even to not collect anything, just because they don't care, they would barely get any story at all. They wouldn't get any backstory. They would just get the unskippable cutscenes that we've seen, which really aren't much of anything. If you merged all of these unskippable cutscenes together, you probably have about a 40-minute pre-rendered animation of Batman, and that would be it. Well, that's going to be it for this recording. Did we walk through the door? Nope. Let's walk through this door, and then that'll be the end of this recording, just in case. Just so it saves right here. Yep. Just in case my game or PC decides to crash. I haven't been having any trouble, thank goodness, with my microphone or anything, so I probably can just leave it paused. And it is nice to see some games actually can just be left pause for an entire week and not have a problem. More and more I run into PC games that just have memory leaks or something else wrong with them where you can't even just pause, come back the next day and play some more. Well, anyways, yeah, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.